Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Sunday the 12th of May 2024. Well, Sunday. You would think being a Sunday that nothing's going to happen. Well, no, actually, because we got this today from the Mirror, the Daily Mirror, mirror.co.uk. Exclusive. They were the first ones to put this up at 3:19 in the afternoon. So it didn't come out, it wasn't in the printed paper, it came out in the middle of the day today. Tottenham set to cash in on Japhet Tanganga after agreeing Millwall transfer. Tottenham defender Japhet Tanganga is likely to leave the club on a permanent basis this summer, and he's emerged as a top target for Millwall after impressing on loan at the Den. So, what's going on here then? Well, Millwall have agreed a deal with Tottenham for defender Japhet Tanganga. The Spurs star 25 spent the second half of the 23-24 campaign on loan with the Lions and played a significant role in helping the club retain their championship status. And Mill have moved quickly to strike an agreement for the former England youth international as they bid to sign him up on a permanent basis. Tanganga's current contract expires in the summer, and while Tottenham hold a one-year option, it now seems likely the homegrown defender will leave. Millwall will now attempt to agree personal terms with Tanganga, although they could still face fierce competition from others for his signature. Tanganga was identified as a key summer transfer target for the Lions due to his strong form while on loan at the Den. Tanganga made 18 appearances in total, scoring 2 goals. He endured a frustrating start to the season on loan at FC Augsburg, where he failed to make a single first-team appearance. Mill head coach Neil Harris made no secret of his desire to continue working with Tanganga in the build-up to last weekend's championship finale against Swansea City. Harris told the South London Press, "Old Japhet, he's started every game for me, so he's obviously going fantastically well. You have to be very careful and respectful when you talk about loan players who are contracted to other football clubs. Ultimately, Jaff is contracted to Spurs, and they have a relationship and decisions they've got to make between themselves as to where Japhet's future lies. Then you've got Japhet's thought process. What does he want to do? He's a young man who's had a loan period. He's been abroad in Germany. Where does he see his future lying? Then for us as well, it's about the balance of the squad. Jaff has done extremely well. I'm a firm believer when players do well on loan that there is hope you work with them again in the future. I can name players I've worked with in the past, just for example, guys who are with us now in Jake and Sav, and they came to us at the same time as Jed Wallace. They were all loans that were made permanent, and like with some of the other guys, we have to be maybe patient with the time they take to make their decisions, clubs and individuals. I think we'll be very close to those conversations with their clubs. So there you go. Now, so that's from the Mirror, and then shortly after we got the other outlets picking up the story, and we got this from South London. Now, why am I showing you this? It's the same thing twice. Why would I show you that? Well, it is the same thing twice, but there's a little bit of frisson thrown in this piece from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online story. Mill have transfer agreement with Tottenham for defender Japhet Tanganga. Mill have agreed a fee with Tottenham for Japhet Tanganga. The next hurdle facing the Lions is agreeing terms with the centre-back. The Lions sorted out the transfer at the start of the week. So there you go. That's the extra. The transfer fee between Millwall and Spurs was agreed at the start of the week. Now this is where you start to get a bit sweaty. It's Sunday. The transfer was agreed at the start of the week. So what, Monday, Tuesday? Maybe Wednesday? It's Wednesday. Wednesday's the middle of the week. But compared to Sunday, it's kind of the start of the week. So how long has this been going on? And why is this coming? Who told? If we go, you see the piece that I just read from the Mirror. He doesn't say where he got that information from. He's not saying anything. It doesn't say a source from Tottenham, a source in the know, a source from Millwall, a source here, a source there, everywhere, a source. Hey, doesn't say anything. So Did he get... Now, this was mentioned before in the week, and it was nonsense, because what happened was there was a Spurs podcast who said... He said something about how Tottenham shouldn't let him go for anything less than 3 million, and that got Chinese whispered into Millwall and Spurs have agreed a £3 million fee for Japhet Tanganga, but it wasn't. It was just some guy on a Spurs podcast. Now, I haven't listened to this Spurs podcast. I've just seen... I saw the story that obviously quoted that and put it out to try and get some clicks as clickbait, and I'm like, it's just some random guy on a fans podcast, on a Spurs fans podcast, that said that. So that's why I didn't report it. I didn't think it was. I thought it was a load of nonsense. But is it, or is that where Marsh has got his story from, and now he's made it like it's a real thing? He's like, who told him this? There's nothing in the story. Not this one, the previous one from the Mirror. There's nothing in that story about where this has come from. Did he get it from that podcast? I don't know. But then you've got this here. Corley's saying the same thing. So obviously he's reporting it. Like, if they knew behind the scenes, but they couldn't get anyone on record to say, and they were told not to put it out yet, then they wouldn't put it out. But once one of them breaks and puts it out, then the rest of them can jump on and put it on, and then put other stuff in. So he's put it out that the transfer was sorted at the start of the week. That's also interesting, because why would that be put there? And how would he know that? How would Richard Corley know that this transfer was sorted at the start of the week? Because somebody involved in the transfer told him. Somebody who maybe isn't at Millwall anymore. We've seen Kavanagh, Aldo, and Billy Taylor exit stage right. So once this has come out, maybe they told him we were the ones involved in this. We sorted this deal out at the start of the week. Tanganga, 25, is due to be out of contract this summer. He's featured 24 times at Premier League level for Tottenham, etc. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so we got this come out today. Why is this coming out? Why has this come out? And it's come out to Dan Marsh to put on the Mirror's website, not to Richard Corley. So why is that? Like, who? Nobody has been quoted. There's no source from either team being quoted or being off the record as, oh, this person involved in Spurs has told me this, blah blah blah. So who is it? The agent? Obviously, the agent has probably a duty to get the best deal for his client that he can get. Not only for himself, but not only for the client, but obviously for himself. So he gets a percentage probably of the fees that get agreed. But even if Tanganga was like, I want to go to Millwall, make it happen, that's probably the only way that you would just get the deal done for going to Millwall. Otherwise, the agent will do the best that he can to get the best deal that he can. And is this part of this? So we've got the deal, we got the fee agreed between Millwall and Spurs. Or I say fee, it's probably an initial fee. Is the whole thing covered? Because I imagine the way Millwall are, it's not going to be a lump sum straight up front. It's probably going to be a fee. There's going to be sell-ons, there's going to be clauses, there's percentages, etc., etc. So is all of that agreed? All the I's and D and all the I's have been dotted and all the T's have been crossed in terms of all of that stuff. And then So like I said, who's put this out? The Spurs put this out. Are they trying to get another bidder, a bidding war? Obviously, Tanganga's done well in half a season. If he can do that over a whole season, that is a pretty decent player. We'll see. We'll see. Like, who? Obviously, where could he go? I mean, Ipswich are going up. Would he, like, if Ipswich can get a half decent player for 3 million, he might be Premier League quality. If they can come in and get him for 3 million, which is the price that's been quoted around by that podcast, I mean that's a steal for a Premier League team. Would he fit in at Ipswich? I don't know. Maybe it's not that far from North London to Ipswich. But we'll see. And obviously, I bet they could probably offer more wages than we could. And he'll be playing in the Premier League. It'll be tough for him. Bloody tough if you're playing Ipswich Town in the Premier League. You see what happened to Sheffield United. So would you want to put yourself through that? Because if it goes bandy and you get spanked every week, you're going to be looked at and you're going to be put under the microscope. So that's probably going to damage you and probably prevent you from going any further in the game. That means you will almost certainly have to come back down to the Championship and probably not get another chance in the Premier League. Now, and even if you play well in that, let's say he does go to Ipswich and plays well, if the rest of the team aren't playing well, that's going to be a stain on you as well. That stink's going to be on you. So yeah, but again, the sides who are leaking it out, Tanganga or his agent probably, Tottenham trying to get a bidding war going. Well, what about even Millwall? And not even Millwall, two sides of Millwall. The three amigos who've just been kicked out, they put this out. Now, the geezer who had it first, Dan Marsh, he didn't put the line in about the transfer being sorted at the start of the week. So you'd imagine that they would want that in the story. Maybe he just forgot to put it in, or that wasn't the main thing for him. And then you've got maybe Millwall at the people who are running Millwall now, after those three have gone, are leaking it out. Because maybe they think that they know the deal's going to go a bit bandy now. Maybe they're trying to do a bit of good PR. After the bizarre situation where we've got 3 people at the club being kicked out. But that doesn't make any sense, because from what I've seen, even though there are people who've dealt with Kavanagh and dealt with Billy Taylor who seem to think that they're saying that they're good people. They're not, like, they had their interactions with them were perfectly decent and okay. Like, they didn't have any bad thing to say against them. A lot of the fan base, from what I've seen, are like, oh yeah, probably a good decision. In James Verrilson we trust. If he wants to do this, like, let's crack on and see how we go. I don't think there's, but obviously that's online. You don't know what online world is and the real world is. But from what I'm seeing, I don't think there's the fans are that bothered, to be honest. If it means we're moving forward. Obviously, it happened straight after a bit of good news. We had the good news with the lease, the 999-year-old lease. Then a couple of days after, we have the CEO and others getting kicked out. But yeah, again, all very bizarre this summer. See, we had a sad and unsettling summer situation last season. due to the events happening on the 4th of July. And we've got a similar situation this summer. But yeah, we have to get. But it is a kind of worrying that we find out now that this deal was agreed at the start of the week. Now, obviously, the player might be on a holiday, etc. And here's another thing. That I've just remembered that it may have leaked out that it could be. You may have seen pictures online of Tony Warner's 50th birthday. So maybe Neil Harris is at that. He's amongst friends. He's told them about what's happening. He said, "Oh, yeah, someone said about Tanganga." He said, "Oh, yeah, we might be signing him. We've agreed a fee with Tottenham for him." And then someone's gone and sold that story to the press. But you never know. Maybe someone at the party, maybe just the barman. Because I don't know where it was, if it's down here or up north. But you get these people that like working in bars and restaurants. They got cocaine addicts and stuff. They got cocaine addictions, and they want to get money, and they sell stories to newspapers all the time. So maybe it could be that's why it's leaked out. You never know. All kinds of funny business going on. And if you ask Dan Marshall, he got his story, I'm sure he's not going to tell you. But there you go. Now, moving on, just because it's a Sunday, and to give a bit of dimension to the video, I thought we would look at the final season stats for the games. This is just championship games, but although our games are mostly championship, we had one League Cup game where we got spanked, and we had one FA Cup game. But I had a look, and although there were some youngsters on the bench for those games, there wasn't nobody played that isn't on this list. So we've got that. So in terms of appearances, let's sort it out by list. We've got Zion Fleming playing in the most games, played in 46. He played in every single league game this season, 43 starts and 3 substitute appearances. Jake Cooper, only 44, so he did miss 2 games. And then you've got Brooknell. So this is added them up together in terms of starts and substitute appearances. So you get Brooknell and Cuffy there, 25 and 15. As third place, George Saville 28 and 12, Ryan Eddard 31 and 4, then Longman, then Billy Mitchell, etc. As we go down and see 2 players at the bottom who are no longer here. George Evans, 2 substitute appearances, only 14 minutes on the pitch. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. And Vogelsammer, again, 2 substitute appearances before he left. Now, going up to minutes on the pitch, Jake Cooper actually played more minutes on the pitch, although he only appeared in 44 games compared to Zion Fleming's 46. He actually had more time on the pitch. So minutes on the pitch. Here we go. It kind of changes. Sarkic has jumped up. Brooke Norton Cuffy's gone down. We've got Brian Eddard in 4th, Saville in 5th, and there you can see as we go down, players that were injured, players who've just come in, and youngsters on the fringe of the squad. Alan Campbell played 728 minutes. Probably nearly all of them were under Gary Rowett. He seemed to bizarrely prefer Alan Campbell to George Saville for some reason. I don't know what George Saville did to him, but yeah, that didn't work out at all, did it? That was a bizarre thing that Gary Rowett did there. So in terms of goals, again, Zion Fleming top scorer, 7 goals. Kevin Nisbet 5. So for how little he's played, 5 goals in 1,396 minutes. The lad certainly does know where the goal is. That is a pretty decent goals to minutes ratio there. And then, especially when you look below and you see Tom Bradshaw with his 4 goals in 2000, so 700 more minutes for Tommy Bradshaw, 1 less goal. Yeah, that's not the best, is it? You got Watmore again. So Watmore, you compare Watmore's 3 goals to Longman's 3 goals. Watmore less minutes on the pitch, same amount of goals as Ryan Longman, and same amount of goals as Wes Harding. The forgotten man, really, after Tanganga came in. Be interesting to see, obviously, if we do sign Tanganga, is that Hutch out the door? Is that why Hutch hasn't signed? And if Tanganga doesn't sign, does Hutch sign back on again? And then we try and get another loan in? Don't know. But there you go. In terms of goals, Brook Norton-Cuffy with 2, Saville with 2, Jake Cooper with 2. Took him a bloody long time to get there, didn't it? But he scored 2 at the end of the season. Obviously, after the main man Neil Harris came back. So Japhet Tanganga with 2. All these players with 2. How many players we got there with 2? Was that 8 different players with 2? Joe Bryan with 2. Michael Oberfin with 2. Murray Wallace with 2. And Romain Esse with 2. A lot of people saying, I've seen a few people I don't really see what he does. Well, he's played 734 minutes and got 2 goals. You've seen all these people, all these players with 2 goals. He's the one who's played the least amount of minutes. So obviously people are saying, well, hang on a minute, if we played him more minutes, maybe he'll get more goals. Maybe he'll do more stuff. Maybe he'll have more assists. But obviously he has to get to a position where he's not giving the ball away so much. He's not getting caught out so much. He's not passing the ball astray so much. So he does need to be sorting that side of the game out. But as soon as he does, he certainly knows how to play football. And then we have the 3 players on 1 goal only. So what is that? 17 different goal scorers we have. Hutch, Casper De North finally at the end got his first goal for Millwall, and then Edomi Maku at the start of the season. I think in the very first game, wasn't it? Middlesbrough away. Damn. And then these players didn't score. So Billy Mitchell again, a lot of minutes for not scoring, and McNamara, and Ryan Leonard didn't score. So he's playing now at right back, move back from midfield. So highly unlikely to be doing that going forward. More likely to be putting crosses in which leads us to assists. Again, so not only has Zion Fleming scored the most goals for Millwall this season, he's got the most assists. Now, obviously, he's played the most times, the second most minutes, so that would be understandable. Now, if you were to do a per 90 minutes or per minute situation, how would that shake out? But here we go. So 5 assists. Then we got 4 assists from Brook Norton-Cuffy and 4 from George Saville. Obviously, I think a few of those George Saville ones from corners, set pieces. Tom Bradshaw with 3 assists. Then we got Alan Campbell, 2 assists. So he did do something while he was here. Billy Mitchell with 2 assists. George Honeyman with 2. Ryan Longman with 2. We've got 5 different players with 1 assist: Maku, Denor, Watmore, Murray Wallace, and Ryan Leonard. Anyone on the list who probably should have been on there that didn't? No, mostly just defenders. Or Obafemi. Obviously he shooting a lot, wasn't he? So yeah. Romain Esse didn't get an assist. Obviously not playing that much. Got a goal, didn't get an assist. In terms of yellow cards, obviously George Saville well up there due to practicing in their dark hearts. Jake Cooper, bizarrely, being involved in one of those wrestling matches where he's the one being wrestled, and he ends up getting the cards. What's that about? And then George Honeyman, Ryan Leonard, Danny McNamara, Zion Fleming with 7, Murray Wallace with 6, Joe Bryan with 5. Ryan Longman with 5. So what is that? Wes Harding with 4. So in terms of minutes, you've got Joe Bryan obviously not doing too well when he was playing. He's injured a lot, getting caught out a lot, being skinned a few times, causing a lot of goals down that side. To get 5 yellow cards in 1,449 minutes, that's not the best. As we go down, Billy Mitchell 4, Norton Coffey 4, Wes Harding 4, Casper De Nor. Obviously, situation where when you get 5 or more, that opens you up to getting an extra suspension if you do it before a certain date in the calendar. Sarkic with 3. Interesting. Is that time wasting and stuff like that? Hutch with 3, Amaku with 2, Obafemi with 2, Alan Campbell 1, Bart 1, Nisbet 1, SA 1, Bradshaw 1. So the only players who didn't get a yellow card are the ones who haven't started a game. Adam Mayer, Vogel Sama, and George Evans. Everyone else has had a yellow card. Right, let's do the ratings this time. So let's sort out by rating. So this website, if you've seen the videos over the season or the past 2 seasons, you know I look at this website, whoscored.com, to see the ratings after the games. And this is the ratings added up and divided, and it gives you a rating over the season. So according to them, our best player was Jake Cooper, followed by George Saville, and then Tanganga, and then Fleming, and then Ryan Leonard and Sean Hutchinson. So how they get that rating, we don't know. I think it's heavily influenced by what you do on the pitch in terms of tackles and aerial duels won, things like that. So it's not just goals and whatnot, because you can see here, Zion Fleming 7 goals, only in 4th place. As we go down, what do we see? So we've got Wes Harding 6.5. So Casper De Nor 6.58. So everyone's like, why is he not playing? Why is he not playing? Well, there must be some kind of reason why he's not, which is being seen by Neil Harris and the team. But obviously he was playing in the team when it wasn't doing too well as well. So that's probably going to affect your rating. But then when you look down and think, well, the player that replaced him, the player that Neil Harris brought in to replace him, Billy Mitchell's got a lower score than him, 6.53. Danny McNamara, obviously, here's the thing, these ratings are not, they're not the be all and end all. It's just a way for us to compare, because we need a way to compare. Like, we can all look at a game, look at a player and say, well, he's a good player, which Danny McNamara certainly is a good defender when he's playing at left back or right back, but wing back probably not so much. But his rating over the season is 6.45. But then you've got, like I said, you've got Kevin Nisbet, whose goals to minutes ratio is off the chart, but he's only got a rating of 6.43. Like I said. And then we've got Obafemi, 2 goals in 928 minutes. And that gives him a 6.37. But then, so you've got our 3 strikers, our 3 main strikers, rather than attackers, which is Zion Fleming is, and they're all down at the bottom, 19th, 20th, and 21st ranking. And then the lowest of the low, Adam Mayer, who's barely played, 50 minutes over 4 substitute appearances, got 6.01. And he's below George Evans, who's played 14 minutes, and below Andres Vogelsam, who's played 44 minutes. So, and there you go. And Duncan Watmore, who a lot of fans are moaning about, even though he's got 3 goals and 1 assist in 1,695 minutes, down there, 6.28, splitting SA and Amaku. So there you go. But here's the thing, obviously, if this website is based on giving you a rating based on what you do, if Millwall are mostly defending and not attacking that much, then how can the attackers, because all of these are attackers, even SA and Watmore are attacking players, how can they get a high score if we're not really attacking? And you've got Zion Fleming, who's playing deeper, he's playing in the number 10, he's getting more. Maybe we should play with 2 number 10s. But would that be kind of fucking stupid? I don't know. Is anyone doing that? I know isn't that what the false 9 is? I guess that's what the false 9 is, isn't it? Or is the false 9 where you play 1-4-1-4-1, but that 1 is dropping deeper instead of playing up? I don't know. But there you go. Our attacking players have low ratings because they're not really doing much. Because it's all defend. That was under Rowett, and that was under Neil Harris too. So there you go. If we look at we're going to look at man of the match. So man of the match is not man of the match as in an award. It's basically man of the match in terms of this player had the highest rating in a match. So that includes not just between Millwall players, but between every single player on the pitch. So you've got Zion Fleming with 3, Saville with 2, Hutch with 2. So Hutch, he started 9 games, was a sub in 5, came on as a sub in 5, 760 minutes, got a highest rating in 2 of those games. So he was the best player on the pitch according to this website. Still got 1 goal. Bart got a man of the match. And then we've got all these tons of ones. Billy, Norton Cuffy, Jasper, Danny, Duncan Moore, Tanganga, Brian. Interesting to see what that match was. Sarkic, Wallace, Leonard, and Longman. Maybe the Brian one was the Rotherham game at home. Maybe it was that game. So let's just quickly move on. Defensive stuff. So here they've got it per game. So tackles per game. Is it sorted by that already? Yeah, it was. So the most tackles per game. Ryan Leonard, George Honeyman, George Saville, Joe Bryan, Alan Campbell, Casper De Noor, Murray Wallace. So there you go. Interestingly, Hutchinson and Tanganga. So if you look at Hutch and Tanganga, their numbers per game seem pretty even. So maybe, are they similar type of players? Maybe they are. So would Tanganga be a direct upgrade of Hutch? We've got the same in tackles per game, more or less. We've got the same interceptions, fouls, drawing and offside. But Tanganga's got more clearances, and Tanganga's got more blocks. Okay. So you can see at the bottom all of the, well, that's weird, Jake Cooper. So obviously he's not the tackler in the defence. 0.8 tackles per game, and he's surrounded by forwards. All of the forwards, that's a similar kind of, obviously that's not what he does, I guess. He's not the tackler. But then, if teams know that, they're probably going to target him because he's not going to tackle them. Or maybe he does the closing down. Or I would imagine, if teams pump it forward, Jay Cooper wins the header, the opposition win the second balls, and then another player has to tackle him. Maybe it's kind of that situation, I don't know. Okay. sort out the interceptions. Tanganga's top of that with Hutch. And then we've got Jay Cooper and Harding, and then Saville. Obviously, Saville is up there for a man of the match contender. The defensive stuff that he's doing this season. Maybe, I don't know, could we see George Saville playing in defence? Could he drop into defence like Ryan Leonard has? And would that free up a space for Denora in the middle? Could we have George Saville at left back? I don't know. Maybe. George Saville at left back. Ryan Leonard at right back. I don't know, he's doing well though, only defensively. He knows what he's doing. And then for the interceptions, we've got Brian and Murray Wallace, Danny McNamara. Again, it's good stuff. Who's leading the fouls? Fouls is, what is it? It tells us up here somewhere. Does it not? It tells us underneath. We have to go underneath fouls. So let's have a little look. So fouls is fouls per game. Offsides is offsides. 1 per game. Blocks is outfielder. Blocks per game. DRB means you get dribbled past. So you stand up the player and then they go past you. So let's go back and see. So fouls. Obviously, fouls is when the referee gives a foul. George Saville's Iron Fleming was his Iron Fleming trying to stop the counter attacks. Very good with that. Getting a foul. Alan Campbell's up there. 1.3. Okay. Offside, so drawing an offside. You can see that only 9 players have done it. Wes Harding's top. Probably because he has to, in terms of not being the quickest, and Hutch as well. So yeah, there you go. Clearances. Jay Cooper, for what he lacks up in tackling, he's doing the clearancing. Doing the clearing, 4.5 per game. Tanganga 3.3 per game. Harding 2.7. Leonard 2.3. Murray Wallace 2.2. Danny Mac 2.1. And then it goes on. It fades away. Now being dribbled past. Here, Joe Bryan, like I said, Joe Bryan, 1 per game, usually leading to a goal, which is not ideal. George Saville, Honeyman's top, 1.3. He's in the middle. I'd imagine that's because he goes in for quite a few tackles. And then if he doesn't get it right, then he gets dribble pass. Alan Campbell again up there, 5th in the table. But who's the lowest? Well, one of the lowest, Tanganga. You ain't dribbling past Tanganga, brother. 0.2. It's not happening. It is not happening. Blocks. Blocking a shot. Blocking of the shot. Top. Who's top? Tanganga 1.1 per game. Jake Cooper 0.9, so he's 2nd. Then Hutch, then Harding. Alan Campbell, again, 5th. So he's not that bad in terms of tackling. Maybe he should convert to a defender. Murray Wallace, George Saville, and we go down, and we go down, and we go down. Okay, so let's move on to offensive stuff. See, we've seen goals and assists. Let's go shots per game. So I'm Fleming with the most shots per game, 1.9. Kevin Nisbet, obviously this is per game. That's why he gets the goals, because he has shots per game, 1.4. When you've got Tom Bradshaw, 1.1. Michael Overtham is 1.1. He's only got 2 goals. Jay Cooper, 1.1. And then what more? 1. As we go down. Okay. Key passes per game. Shall we find out what that means? Oh, well, yeah, it just means key passes per game. Dribbles is dribbles going forward per game that you've done. Fouled means you've got fouled, so you've Gotten a foul out of the referee. Dispossessed is dispossessed per game. Unscheduled touch, bad control per game. So, key passes: George Saville, Casper Denor, Zion Fleming, George Honeyman, Joe Bryan. So obviously something Joe Bryan is good at is delivering the ball where it needs to be delivered. But he's only number 5 in the list, and this is per game. It's not like a total. This is per game. So yeah. Obviously, Danny McNamara at the bottom. See, spoken about his attacking prowess, getting balls in the box, which is a particular bugbear, quite vocally, of Gary Rowett, and he's at the bottom for key passes. Dribbles going forward. Clearly, yeah, Norton Cuffy, then Maku, Zion Fleming, Obafemi, Essay, Watmore, Longman, all the players you would expect. Then Brian and Billy Mitchell and George Saville. Okay. Fouled. Who drew the most fouls? George Saville, obviously dark arts, like I said. Then Zion Fleming, then George Honeyman, then Ryan Leonard, and then it drops off quite a bit to Joe Bryan, Idomi Maku, Michael Obafemi, Alan Campbell. Offsides per game. Nisbet, 0.5. Which, obviously, it's good and bad. It can help shorten the time of the game. It's obviously certainly helpful when you have these dopey teams that play tiki-taka route from the back. So if they play tiki-taka, it takes them 5 minutes to move the ball forward to the edge of our box. We get the ball and we just lump it forward, and the player's offside. Oh, offside! And then they get the ball, and what do? They start it off again, doing a sideways passing and all of that, and it's another 5 minutes for them to get anywhere near our box if they're lucky. So offside, oh, he's offside. Sometimes it can be helpful. But you got Nisbet, Obafemi, Watmore, Jake Cooper offside, Bradshaw, and then Essay. So only 11 players have been offside, and here they are. Dispossessed, having the ball taken off of you. Norton Cuffy, Watmore, Mayer, 1 per game. He's only played 50 minutes. I think that might be a statistical anomaly. Obafemi, Fleming. Obviously, the players that do the most dribbling will be the ones who get dispossessed the most. Unscheduled touches of the ball per game is poor ball control. Obafemi 2.8. Yeah, by far the worst, which is probably why we aren't making any efforts to sign him. 2.8. And poor ball controls per game. And then it drops down to Fleming, but they're still 2.2, and then another massive drop to Watmore, and then Bradshaw, Norton Cuffy, and Longman. Again, the players are doing like the dribbling and going forward stuff. But there you go. Okay, cool. So, what is there anything left to look at? We've spent a fair few bit of time looking at this. We've seen the assists, key passes. We've seen average pass per game. So, who's doing the most passing? Cooper, Harding per game. Quite a bit. And then Casper Denor, Leonard, Tanganga, Wallace, Billy Mitchell, Sean Hutchinson. I think this kind of harks back to the schizophrenic season that we've had, where Joe Edwards, a lot of the ones at the top of this list, were playing when Joe Edwards was the manager, and we were doing the passing and trying to keep the ball. And then after that, we were just under Neil Harris. It was just let's go attacking. Pass success completion (PS) percentage. Casper Denor 84.9, George Evans 84.6, Billy Mitchell 82.4, Alan Campbell 82.1. It's not a bad player. It's just didn't work out for him. Wes Harding 78.6. Anyone stand out? So SA 73.7. Does give the ball away quite a bit, which does lead to counter attacks and stuff that we sometimes get punished by. Obviously, Sarkic and Biakowski kicking the ball long. They are obviously going to be at the end because you don't always hit the long balls to the Millwall players, especially when you've got two up front and there's 4 defenders and 2 maybe central midfielders dropping deep. It's going to be hard to find a Millwall player with a long ball in that situation when it's 2 versus 6. Okay. But Kevin Nisbet, not a passer of the ball. Apparently 64% accuracy, but Bradshaw's not that far off him. Ryan Leonard. I think that's because when he gets to him on the right hand side, he's the one to pump it long. So yeah. Crosses per game. Who's doing the most crosses? Obviously you've got George Savile. I think this includes corners, so we've got George Savile 1.2 per game. Joe Bryan averaging 1 per game. Honeyman 0.9. Again, he takes the odd set piece. Longman 0.7. Then it drops off massively to Leonard, Norton Cuffy, Adam Mayer. Not played that much, but averaging 0.3 per game. So he's got himself in the top of one category. That's crosses per game. Long balls per game. Obviously the 2 goalkeepers at the top, then it drops off massively to Jay Cooper, and then Ryan Leonard. Like I said, you can see, interestingly, Jay Cooper averaging 3.4 long balls per game, but his passing accuracy is still 73.5, whereas Ryan Leonard, who averages 2.6 long balls per game, that seems to affect his accuracy and drops it down to 68.6. And then you've got Casper Knorr 2.4 long balls per game. His passing accuracy is 84.9. I guess because the rest of the balls that he passes that ain't long balls are probably quite short. So that helps with that. You got Tanganga there 2.3 per game, and Hutch, Billy Mitchell. There you go. Through balls per game. We only had 3 through balls. 3 players playing through balls. Right, does it say what the definition of through ball is? Probably somewhere, but not here. So, damn. That's it. We've only had 3 players playing through balls. Obviously, we're not really on the ball that much. I guess through balls would be balls through the middle. Maybe the kind of ball that splits the centre backs and then someone runs in behind. We've only got 3 players playing those, and it's averaging 0.1 per game. And they've got this thing here, the XG, as it says new. I think we'll probably finish on this and just see. So you can see the XG and how many got. So XG means expected goals and what their actual goals was, and whether it's above or below. And you've got Zion thing is supposed to have 7.43 and he's got 7, so he's slightly under. Kevin Nisbet 7.14, got 5, so his differential is probably the worst. Can we sort it by that? Where's Obafemi then? So Obafemi 2.14 XG, got 2. Okay. So it looks like the only players who overperform their XG are the ones from 16 down. Denor, Longman. Obviously, he had the 2 long balls, the one against Leicester and the one against Rotherham. So that XG would have been lower. He got 0.39 XG, got 3 goals out of that. Savile, 2 goals from 0.47 XG. Romain Esse again. 734 minutes on the pitch. 0.62 XG difference. 1.38 XG, got 2. So there you go. In terms of shots per game, well, no, this is shots per total. This is total shots over the whole season. So I was thinking 88. So he had 88 shots towards goal, only got 7 goals. But then you've got Kevin Nisbet getting 5 goals from 38 shots. Very economical. Where's Obafemi? So you got Obafemi getting 2 goals from 16 shots. Doesn't look too bad now then. But then you look at that, you got Imaku with 1 shot from 15, 1 goal from 15 shots. So why aren't we playing Imaku instead of bringing Obafemi in? Obviously Imaku had his injury problems as well at the time. But there you go. We've gone through it all. End of season. If we go back, I think here's what it is, isn't it? So we had Ryan Leonard, man of the match. On here, he's the 5th best player. I think these 5, I think they're it, aren't they? These 5 in any order, they would have made the shortlist for player of the season. Yeah, so there you go. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.